Hey guys, I'm Reece Ratliff, and welcome back to another episode of Anatomy of a Song. Today we're going to be talking about East Coast Town, one of the most meaningful tracks on the album to me, and one that I think kind of sums up this whole journey. Here we go. No one out on the road tonight, making wishes on satellites. Every now and then there's somewhere I'd rather be. I try not to reminisce, come to terms with the emptiness, but there's a voice in the void that keeps calling me. Some nights I hear the lullaby, some nights I dream of the simpler times, of all the friends I left for the sake of now, in an East Coast town. There's a fork in the road ahead, never know what you're gonna get. Either way, I know I can never be right. Oh, straight further from what I know, but take a left and go back home. But I can tell you where I'd rather be tonight. Some nights I hear the lullabies, some nights I dream of the simpler times, of all the friends I left for the sake of now, in an East Coast town. Some nights I hear the lullabies, some nights I dream of the simpler times, of all the friends I left for the sake of now. Some nights I hear the lullabies, some nights I dream of the simpler times, of all the friends I left for the sake of now, in an East Coast town, in an East Coast town, in an East Coast town, in an East Coast town. So this one I wrote, I think around the same time I wrote Cruise Control, actually, down in Nashville with Greg Beek and Greg Barnhill. This was right around when I was touring again, and we got into the studio and started throwing around some ideas, and Greg Barnhill said he had a title bouncing around in his head but hadn't really been able to write on it yet, and he said East Coast Town, and a proud Delaware native, I fell in love with the title and thought it could be a really cool moment to have on the record. So right around the time we were writing it, I'd recently decided to cut back on certain things and focus more on music. Sports teams and the summer camp I had grown up going to for the last 8 years, these activities and people that I loved. And I kind of just had to make the really tough decision to put that stuff behind me. For all the friends I've left for the sake of now in that East Coast town. But, even though it was a really tough decision, even after driving those empty roads with no one out on the road tonight, making wishes on satellites, and wishing I was sleeping in my own bed, there was always this voice in the void that just kept calling me, and to this day it keeps calling me. I mean, just the drive to make it, not just for me, but for my family, my friends, everyone who's, supported me up to this point. And I feel like there's always that decision, the fork in the road, where I can either stray further from what I know, keep venturing off into the world and going for it, or take a left and go back home. Give it up for that sense of safety and security and, kind of the easy way out. But even though there are some rough nights and nights on the road where I've doubted myself and, like I said, wished I was in my own bed and not on a stranger's couch, there's always that feeling that I just need to see it through, to finish what I've started. And I think that's one of the most important things for me. Like, no matter what your field is, if it's music or school or your job or whatever, like, there's always going to be those sacrifices and the rough nights where you doubt yourself and wonder if it's what you're really meant to be doing. But if you love it and if you care about it, it's just, that the answer is always, you just got to keep going. So that's the big thing for me, just, showing everyone that I made the right decision, leaving everything behind for the sake of now, while, still always having that special place in my heart for that East Coast town, for Wilmington, Delaware, the town where I grew up, where I learned so much, and just finding that balance between being able to go out into the world and pursue the dream, but also always know that you have a home where you grew up, and always be able to come back to that East Coast town. So this has been another episode of Anatomy of a Song. I will see you next week.